our dream seasons of 1967 and 1968 really began in the late fall of 1966, if you'll recall. At the beginning of that season, Coach Stoltz felt that in 1966 we would have to improve our offensive backfield. And he hoped our first-year men would develop rapidly into college ball players. Well, it didn't take long for Chris Clark, Chad Creevy, John Fusak, Dale Dillingham, Larry Gregory, Tom Jakovic, Ken Mitchell, Pete Schmidt, and many other freshmen to make themselves valuable contributors. The 1966 season ended with us sporting a 5-4 record for the first winning season in many years here at Alma.
Denny Stoltz, the head coach, came to our high school. He said to me, "I found a fullback from Lansing, and I'm looking for a linebacker, and I think you're the one." And I said, "Well, what makes you think so?" He said, "Trust me, if I get you, we can go all the way." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I've got the team. We can win them all this year. What do you think?" I said, "Sign me up. Let's go." And I came here with no expectations other than to play football. But I am glad that I came here because Alma College is much more than a football experience to me. It's an experience of learning how to live and learning how to get along with people and growing up and maturing and meeting some of the finest men that I've ever met since that time and ongoing.
My high school, we won one game as a junior. We won 2 games my senior year. So to come up here and go undefeated was a dream for a kid from a small school, and these guys taught me how to win. We won 3 championships in the 4 years I was here, and so I thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to succeed. Thanks.
When Kenny, Mitch, and Randy Hout came along, I sat on the bench, and Denny created a very good spot for me. It was called Robbie's Raiders. It was the kickoff squad. The kickoff squad was marvelous because it was the place where I learned how to be a member of a team. I've been a hero before, but being the member of a team is an experience that not all people have the chance. Being part of Robbie's Raiders was even more fun than being a defensive end.
One of my primary memories is of the 1967 Mud Bowl game against Olivet. Both teams came in undefeated, 6-0. The field was so muddy that we had a complete change of uniforms at halftime.
It had snowed on Thursday, 6 or 8 inches, and then the high school played on the field, and then the next day it warmed up and everything just turned to water and mud. And so we were playing and rolling around in the mud, and everyone looked just the same. You couldn't distinguish uniform colors. And so there were 2 times in that game that I blocked my own player, Brian Schroep. And it was a great block, and I got up and Brian said, "Mitchell, what are you doing? It's me, Schroep."
Came into the locker room afterwards, sat down on the bench. The only thing you could see were the whites of my eyes. I was so covered in mud. My father came into the locker room, as he often did, stood next to me and my locker, and was looking around the locker room. And to his surprise, I was sitting right next to him. He couldn't recognize me. I had so much mud. We ended up winning that game 34-0. That game was the turning point for us to go on and go undefeated that year. Great memories with a great bunch of guys and a real bond that'll last forever. Thanks, guys.
After one of our undefeated seasons, we were all flying a little high. Cicely and I grabbed Coach Stoltz, put him on our shoulders, and we were carrying him around, and he was so light because we were all having such a good time.
It was quite a celebration back here in Alma, remember? Lots of fans, a sign in the Strand Theater, no class on Monday, and plenty of awards. The enthusiasm that we had after our 67 season carried over into 1968 when fall practice began. Remember, we had 32 letter winners returning, most of our offensive and defensive starters, and Coach Stoltz told us, look forward, don't ever look back. We were reminded by Dr. Gray going into our opening game that we had the longest winning streak in Michigan college football. And as Dr. Gray informed us, as President John F. Kennedy stated, from those who have received much, much is expected.
I was a freshman on the 68 team, well aware of the great season the 67 squad had, and probably a big reason why I came to Alma. They were winners, and as a mediocre record in high school, I wanted to go where people were winning, and Alma was winning, and I'm so very happy that I came with the Alma Scots and Coach Stoltz and his staff, and I'd do it all over again if I could.
Okay, for our home opener then against Defiance, with a large crowd, it looked bad for us. We were trailing 15-14 with 90 seconds left, but we all had confidence.
I'm sitting on the bench with about 90 seconds to go and we're behind. And I'm sitting next to the defensive captain, Jim Cicere, and I'm a freshman, he's a senior. And I had come from a program where we weren't very successful, so I assumed that we were going to lose, being behind. And I said to Jim, oh no, we're going to lose this game. And he looked at me and he says, son, you got to believe and watch.
And we had Tom Jakovic. He passed for 44 yards, ran for 22, and with 8 seconds left, scored on a 5-yard sweep, and we won 21-15. After the game, Coach Stoltz gently reminded us that football is a game that has no respect for our past records, and that it only rewards teams that are willing to sacrifice, pay the price. He reminded all of us that opponents were up for us and pointing to us to make their season. Well, Mr. Stoltz's speech, along with Monday's practice hit home, was look out opponents.
I will always remember the fact that I did not have to call in a losing football score until my junior year. And that's a tribute to the outstanding players and coaches and administration here at Alma back at that time.
I have very fondly remember our success, our joys, our tears, and our exhaustive 3-a-days we survived in preparation for a single victory, and then on to the next challenge. I remember fondly Coach Stoltz pounding me verbally to challenge and wring out my very last energy to prepare me for a single technique or a level of both physical and mental conditioning.
The thing that inspired me or that I remember most about the teams here at Alma are the hard work, the work ethic, the sense of purpose, and the desire to win. And those were credentials that I thought were very emblematic of the team and were an inspiration to me.
Dr. Swanson reflected this way: victories recalled were only incidental in the bundle of memories that he shared with his audience. Instead, he recalled his relationship with people, his coaches, his teammates, his classmates, and his teachers, especially when he spoke of his friendship with that big, burly tackle who unfailingly ripped holes in the opposing line for him, gaping holes they were. There could be no doubt about his deeply felt gratitude. But above all else, he savored the time and the effort he had devoted to his team. He experienced firsthand the rigors of competition, discipline, sacrifice, commitment, loyalty, honor, pride. Now, 25 years later, we can say now 40 years later, he insisted with tearful gratitude that these same qualities, together with the unique spirit of American intercollegiate athletics, had unalterably shaped his life.
It was great. We were winners, and then we were champions. And once you're a champion forever. And all of my teammates, I truly think of you as champions forever. Thank you.